In this video, we are going to go over how to start customizing your new website. Let's dive in. You'll notice one of the first pages is a coming soon page. Now this page is totally optional. If you would like to use it, you can. You don't have to. What you're going to do is go through the process to connect your domain. We go over that in more detail in the Show It Overview video. Once your domain is connected, you'll notice this little house icon. This is indicating that this is your home page. So what you can do is go into the Coming Soon page, and if you click Coming Soon, this is the canvas that has all of the elements that are on this canvas in this canvas. So if we select something, you'll notice it is blue here, and it is also blue here. Currently, we are just looking at the desktop version, but we also can see mobiles here as well. So first things first, we can update the text on here. So you'll select the text. If you want to update any text, all you have to do is start typing. Then we can go over here onto the right-hand side. So whenever you select an element, you'll notice this whole panel on the right. These are any of the editing options. I like to refer to this as your kind of control panel or creative editing panel. So we can click text style. This is where we can change the color. So you can go through, use any of your brand colors, or even change any of the colors here. We have the fonts directly in here, so you can choose from the fonts that you added. You can also select other fonts just by clicking Add New. Then we have the font size, so this can be bigger. And we have mobile here as well. So right now we have full creative control over mobile and desktop. We also have line height, letter spacing, letter case, so you can switch this as well. And right now you'll notice that it switched both of them. So with any of these, you'll see the 3 dots here. We can split mobile and desktop, meaning that they can each be separate. So mobile could be lowercase while desktop could be uppercase. Then if we want these to go back, I'm going to select lettercase for desktop because I want them both to be uppercase, and I want to merge using desktop. You'll notice that by all of these things, there is these little 3 dots that will appear. So if you ever want something to be the same, even here, so we can split, this can be a different color. So you have even more creative freedom, which makes it so easy to come in here and start customizing. We can go through text properties. This is already set up for you. Size and position. This is such a good tool to use. We have width, height, and then X and Y axis. I'll kind of go over that more as we go, but if you want to actually know the exact position here, it's super helpful. And we even have a rotate feature. We also have center to canvas, so we can center to the middle of the canvas, and then also the center. So I think of it as horizontally and vertically. Then we have these horizontal locking features. This I have used throughout the whole site. This helps to move objects fully to the right. And then with images, we have some that are halfway through the page to the end of the page. And then this is full width. There's also vertical locking features. These are used pretty sparingly, but it is going to just be in the opposite direction. Click actions. This is one of the ways that you will be linking things throughout your Show It site. And so for example, right here we have, in the meantime, send me an email. So we go to click actions. The type of link is email, and then all you have to do is add in your email right here. With this line, we can also link that as well. You don't have to, but you could. And that's the same thing for anything. With images, icons, you will go to click actions to link. With this text, it's the same process. So you have text style. This is where you can do the color, size, all of that coming all the way down. There's even transitions, which again, we will go into more detail as we keep going. Hover, if you want to change the hover to maybe a color or something, that is an option. Effects, we have opacity here, which we could change. We have a drop shadow, and then you can edit that drop shadow right in here. After we have the text updated, you'll notice that we have all of these social icons here. So to link these, we select them, and you'll notice the same thing. We've got all of these creative freedom editing options. So we can choose a color here. We can choose the actual icon. So Show It has preloaded icons available in here. So there's a couple different options for each platform. So you could switch that up a little bit. Size and position, you can see the actual size, but you can also grab this and change the size here too. You'll notice these have horizontal locking on them as well. And we have vertical with this one. Click action, so the type of link is social link and it's linking to TikTok. So to add in your TikTok link, you're going to go to site and then site settings. Right here in social is where you're going to add in any of your social links that are relative to your business. Same thing, we have Instagram, Pinterest, a little email icon, so you're going to add in your email here. And then up here we have a Spotify link. So the type of link is URL, and you can paste in your URL. And then whenever you are linking to another website, I always recommend that you click this open in new window. Over here we also have the image. So what you're going to do is either double click, or if we go to image, it'll say swap image. So when you click this, it's going to open up your media library. So what you can do is add as many folders as you want by clicking add new folder. You'll type in, let's do folder name here. So this one you can organize however makes the most sense to you. Upload your images in here. And then I can grab this. Now, whenever an image is selected, right under the image, you'll notice these options. So we have fill, contain, stretch, and scale. So if we use scale or any of these, be sure to double check how it edits the image itself, because we can kind of change things. Because I want that to kind of be down. But we also have to double check on mobile what that looks like as well. So just be sure if you are going to use scale that you're double checking desktop and mobile. And then you have these 3 dots too where you could merge using mobile, but double check that. Okay, and I'm just going to undo so it's back to what it was. But that is an option. And then once we have this image selected too, if we go to size and position, we do have the horizontal locking. So that is pulling the image from center all the way over to the edge. You can also come through and click preview so that you can test and see what everything is looking like. You can click mobile, desktop, and also click the link to preview what that is looking like. And then with any of these elements, so we have the coming soon page, go into the page with these elements, you'll see these little icons here. So if, for example, maybe you don't need all of these icons, we could hide them on desktop and mobile. Or maybe you don't want any. If you don't want any at all, you could delete them out. If you have a logo that you want to add to the page, you can also add that by clicking your media library. And for example, say if you have your logo uploaded in here, you would select it and just click add to page. Then again, once we have that domain connected, you would see that in your custom domain here. You'll also get that notification from Show It Directly. When you see that in here, then you have this little house icon here by coming soon. For this to be live, you will have to click publish. That way you can have a coming soon page up while you finish customizing the rest of your site. Next, we're going to move on to the home page. We're going to click page. So now these are all of the canvases that make up the home page. Anytime you see a canvas with these gray diagonal lines, that means it is a site canvas. So with a site canvas, anytime you make edits to that canvas specifically, you will see those edits site-wide wherever that canvas is located. So we're going to start right away with the navigation. It is a site canvas, so I can edit it by clicking here, down here, or over here. Okay, we have the logo in here. So with this font, if you want to use it, you can. You will double click and type your business name. From here, you can edit this just by moving it over. You can also go to the right-hand side. Like we mentioned before, this is your control panel. This is all the editing you can do over here. So this is where you can change the color altogether. The font can be changed here. We have the sizing can change. All of this stuff you have complete creative freedom to adjust. We do want to make sure, however, that if you go to click actions, the type of link we are linking to the page, and we want to make sure that this is going to the home page. Same thing down here with all of the other pages. We want to make sure that they are going to the correct pages. And again, whenever you select something, it will be in blue here. It is blue over here. And we can go over to textile. This is where you can change everything. We have about, info, portfolio, blog. So with the blog page, you'll have to go to click actions. This page needs to be updated. So it's going to the demo blog page. So we want to make sure it is going to blog. Blog is your official blog page. And so we want to make sure that gets updated. If you are going to blog, but maybe right now you're not going to start with a blog right away, you can always hide this page. And then, for example, I'm going to hold shift down and slide this up. That is keeping the same positioning. So I can drag that right up. If, for example, like say this kind of gets moved over and you're like, okay, well, I need to align that back. I'm going to select all of these. And when you select multiple elements, you'll get this alignment feature. So now we can align to group, and I'm going to left align. There's also really nice options here where we can align to center, top align, which will align to the most top element. But this is really nice. And we'll go through this more as we go throughout this customization process. This is nice too. If you wanted a different design with the menu, you could change that. So for example, we could move everything up, and I would move it just a little bit below to the one you want to be the most top. So that way we can select it. And I want it to align to the top of home, and I'm going to distribute. And so now that changes it. And then of course we'll have to, so it is distributing via that blue box around everything. So for this to be more precise, I would adjust all of these blue boxes. That's good. And then I can come in and click distribute again. And that's a little bit more evenly distributed. If you want to add, say you already have a logo and you want to add it to this, you totally can. You're going to go to the media library. All right, so I'm going to grab my logo and click add to site canvas. So you'll notice these little dots up here. That is where it is. So you just have to kind of stretch that out so you can grab it. And then I can put right in this location. I'm going to select this. So this one does have horizontal locking. So if you add in your logo, just be sure to update that portion. So I'm going to hide Jane Iris. I'm going to put mine in. Go to horizontal locking and make sure I select that. And then of course, whenever you add anything to desktop, be sure to double check mobile. You'll notice it's up here as well. So I will bring that in right here and hide that on mobile. And then you can adjust it too. If you do want your logo to be bigger, you can come in here and adjust it. And you have full creative control on the desktop and mobile version as well. So that is how you can add yours. I'm going to just delete mine out. If you do add in your logo, I forgot to show this, be sure to select it and go over to Click Actions. You'll go to Page and go to Home because you want that to be linked to your home page. Now on mobile, you'll notice that we do have this little word menu. When we go to this one, if you go to Click Actions, you'll notice it is saying to show a site canvas, and when you click it, it'll show the site canvas called Open Menu. So we will be going through that menu as well. But you can change the font color, you can change the font. You still have all of those options here as well. Or if you did want this to be an icon instead, it can be. So we come down here to the middle and click icon. You'll notice one is pulled in. I'm going to hide it on desktop. Go to icon settings, say it's white. Let's do maybe something like this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and bring it up here. And then just be sure it has that same click action. So we'll go to Click Actions, Add Actions, Show Site Canvas, and then Open Menu. Okay, so we will go back to the home page. And then because we are updating menus, we are just going to stick with it and update any of the menus right away. So we'll scroll down to the footer menu. You'll notice the gray diagonal lines, which means this is a site canvas. So again, whenever you edit this site canvas, we will see these edits site-wide. We also have this feature on the whole entire site where the footer site canvas is kind of underneath all the pages, and it has this feature sticky, so bottom on scroll. If you do not want the other pages or canvases to like slide up over the footer, this is where you would turn that off. All right, let's go in and edit the footer site canvas. So you'll notice we have all of these elements in here, and we also have these little tabs. These are called canvas views within Show It. And what's really cool is this is how people can sign up for your newsletter. So for example, if somebody clicks newsletter, this pops up where people can add in their email, and then they click the little arrow, and then this is where they get that thank you. So we will go over that in a little bit more detail in just a minute, but it's such a cool little feature. So then now we have explore. So this will be the same process. You can edit any of the text. You can change the fonts completely over here. You can change the sizing. These I do have different on desktop and mobile, so you can update those here. One of the biggest things you'll have to do is come to blog and then go to click actions and update this to blog. Next, we have down here, we have these social accounts. So we have Instagram here, so you can change the text. So for example, you want it to be TikTok instead, you can. You just have to come in here and type that in. Pinterest we have, so same thing. If you want this to be something else, you can. And then newsletter. If you don't want a newsletter, that's totally fine. You can update the text, and this could be another platform. All you would have to do is come over here and update click actions to social link. So we will go over the newsletter portion since we're on it. So when people click newsletter, like we said, they will see view 2. So when we click email, we're going to go to text style. You could change the color, the font, the size, all of that can still change. And when we go to text properties, this is where we have the contact form within Show It. So we have this selected, so enable input, and we have email is required, and then we have reply to. So if somebody fills out their email, they'll add their email here. You'll get a notification via Show It to your email, and if you click reply to, it will reply to their email. Next, we have labels. So again, when you receive that notification from Show It, this is the label. So it'll say email, and it will have the person's email. When we click the little arrow, so you could swap this icon, again, through icon settings, we have color, we have the actual icon itself. And then if we go to click actions, they are clicking, the type of link is canvas. They're staying on this canvas, but we want them to see canvas view 3. So then when we click view 3, they see this thank you. So you could change this altogether as well. It could say something else. You can change the colors, the font size, all of that over here. Now, if you do use an email platform, you can also embed that code in here as well. So for example, I'm going to pull up just the desktop to go through it, but what we can do is go to view 1. So for example, if they click newsletter, we're still going to have it click to view 2. So this is where I would still add in your embed code. So for example, we use Flowdesk. So on our website, all of the email opt-ins are through Flowdesk that we have embedded. And if you do want to try Flowdesk, you can use code 7thMade for a discount. It has been so nice, and it really makes doing any kind of email marketing so easy. So what you would do then in view 2, we're going to come down to the bottom and click embed code. From here, I would open up my Flowdesk account or any email platform, and then I'm going to create that form. I'm going to grab the embed code from that form or from that platform directly, double click this, and right here is where you will paste in that form. From here, you will see your form populate. We can then hide all of these elements. And from here, usually when the form is added in, you're going to have to preview this to make sure that the sizing is accurate. And of course, come over here to mobile and update that as well. So you might have to adjust a few things here. For example, this footer may have to be extended just so that there's enough room for your form. Once you do add your form in, you can then also, this wouldn't be relevant either. So you could actually come here and delete the view 3. And then with your form in here, just be sure to go back to your home page, and go preview this to make sure that it is in there and it does fit, because sometimes you do have to adjust that a little bit. Down here also we have the all rights reserved. We do have photo credit to Ash. This is linked to her profile, so if you want to remove that, just be sure if you use this text for something, you can just come up here and click none. And then, or if you do link to something, just update this link, because right now it is going to her Instagram account. And then over here we have website template by us, which does link to our website. If you want to keep it, you can. We appreciate it, but you also do not have to. So you can delete this or use this text for something else. Just be sure to update this link. All right, our next one, since we are on menus, we're going to go to the open menu. This is when people click menu here, they are going to see this open menu. So we can click edit. Now this will be the same process. So coming through here, you can edit this text with your information directly, like your business name, or if you have a logo, you can go to the media library and we can add our logo in, adjust this, resize this. Come over to click actions, you'll update this to go to home. And then you'll notice too that it says it's still visible on desktop, but up here we have this entire canvas only visible on mobile. So even though this desktop icon is still visible here, it's only going to show up on mobile. And then the same process down here, you can always update anything you select over here on the right. And then we do have to update blog. So this has to be updated to blog. And it's always good to double check your links. We have the rest set up, but you can always double check them. It's always a good idea. All right, now we're going to go over to our last menu. So if we go to the site, we are going to go to the About page. And we have a secondary navigation. So we'll click that. This part is the same. So on mobile, here, let's pull up both. We have your logo, so you'll want to add that in. And something that's kind of helpful too is if you select it. So say, for example, you are typing in your logo and you want to make sure it's in the same position. We can go to size and position, and this is where the width, the height, and X and Y come in handy. So that way you can make sure that it's the same on all of the navigations. The menu part is the same here on mobile. We'll go to desktop. This is where we have all of our pages. So for this one, blog, again, this is the one that has to be updated. So you'll come to click actions and select blog here. And then the same process. So if you want to even spread these out further, you can slide them down. So I selected all of these and held down shift to keep that same position and just move it to the left. You can change the color, the font, the letter case, all of that is still the same here. This one, you'll notice within the canvas that we do have the pages hidden because this canvas is visible on desktop and mobile. All right, we're going to jump back to the home page. All right, now the next step is we are going to go over how to add or swap out any photos. So one of the easiest ways you can do that is just by double clicking. So here we are going to go into our folder. This is where we can just select. Again, once you select any of the images, what you're going to do is go right underneath. So we have size. These are the different options we have, which is fill, contain, stretch, or scale. So if you do play around with any of these, be sure to double check desktop and mobile. because sometimes how the scaling works is different on each. So if you do choose scale, I would click these three dots. You can split desktop and mobile, even in general, just so you can see the differences. And specifically that photo is hidden. So we'll use this one. So we have fill and we have them the same. So if you use scale, just be sure to double check because sometimes that switches. All right, so if we do select scale, just be sure to double check them on desktop and mobile, because you'll notice how when we scale, it changes the appearance of the image. And we just want to make sure that that's exactly how you want it presented. Okay, we're going to go back to desktop here. We can also select the image and click swap image here. If we, for example, on this first canvas, if you want an image full width, we can take the entire image here and bring it all the way across the page. And what we're going to do is hide this image, go to size and position. We're going to do full width here. And then I'm going to go back to image and just adjust the positioning. And so that could be really cool as well. If you want to add an image to a canvas, for example, that isn't already on this canvas, we can also select an image by going to Media, Library, and we can just add one in by selecting it and adding here. You'll see it show up on desktop and mobile. So whenever you add either text or images, be sure to double check on both and adjust them on both however you would like. And the cool part is you can literally move these anywhere you want. It makes it so fun to actually come in here and like start editing your website. They can go anywhere throughout here, even coming down to like effects. We could change the corners of this. So we have this cool feature, so we could change the corners where you can start to see it here. Adjusting, we could also come up here and make it a circle, back to a square. You can make it big, you can change it, like you can literally just put these like wherever you want. It's so fun. You can also go right under here for the opacity and you can change that opacity as well. Now, when we get down to this canvas called Portfolio, these all have hover effects put on them. So for example, this one, we'll start right here. So this is their first gallery. This one, when you hover, it's 0% opacity, which means you're going to see everything underneath the image. So that means you'll see gallery. We also have a white rectangle over this, and then the image itself is behind here. So if we select graphic and you go over here to image, this is the photo underneath. So when we want to change this gallery specifically, we will update this image. So say this is a gallery we're going to. You can title this gallery, so we could call this the actual name of this shoot or session. You could keep it gallery 1, whatever really works, and then I'm going to make this visible again, and so then we would update this image as well. And that's the same process for all of these. So if you're looking over here in this canvas, these are all of the elements in this canvas. And so we would select, even if I grab that, I know then all of these are grouped together. So I can click just this top one. I can switch this image, gallery 2. So I'm going to hide it on desktop so I can type in the new title. And then when I click down, I have the same girl again. So I'm going to update that here. Now, all of these also are going to the gallery pages. So we do want to update the links are already accurate, but just to make sure, like it's always good to know. So this is actually going to be going to gallery 2. So when we have the image selected and we go to click actions, it is going to page and then gallery 2. So that is how you will go through all of these all of these images, swap the images, get the images below them, and be sure to just always kind of double check mobile as you go through the process to make sure things aren't overlapping. Now, if we want to add an image, like maybe down here, we can go to Media Library, and this is where we could also add an image. So say if you want to have something else in here, you can. Now, there's also galleries throughout this site, like what show it calls a gallery, so you can also add those throughout. So let's say, for example, in this canvas, so we're going to go to the page, we are in the publications canvas. In here, what we can do is make this a gallery. So right down here at the bottom, we're going to select gallery. I'm going to make this one smaller than this image. Select both just by dragging my cursor over it. And then I'm going to go down here to match size, and I'm going to select this one. So I'm going to match width and height. I'm going to align to the top and then to the left. From here, I'm going to select this gallery, go to Gallery Images, and click Manage Images. From here, we can pull in any of the images. When you have all of yours, you can click Save. You can also rearrange right in here by selecting and dragging up. We can also delete an image, and I'll click Save. Right underneath, we have gallery settings. So there are different types of galleries within Showit, so you can come in here and check those out. For this one, the best option will be a simple gallery, and then we can do size. So that is for the images. Auto advance. So this is where you're going to have to test it a little bit, but usually like 1.5-ish is pretty good. And then transition, there is fade, slide, or none. So you can choose whichever one you like the best. And then transition time. So this will be ideal to come up to preview. Scroll down. And then we do have that other image underneath, so we will turn that off. And then go to mobile, and then you'll resize this gallery on mobile as well. So just make it smaller than the image so that you can grab the image, match size, align to the top and to the left. And then you can hide that image. But that is how you'd be able to add in a gallery, and you can do these on any page. Galleries can be added in. They're really easy to do. Okay, I'm going to remove that. And then, yeah, just have fun with it. You can come through all the rest of the pages here and swap out any of the images you see just by selecting them, double clicking. There's also a cool feature in the canvas too where you can come over here and lock an item. So this image could be locked in place, leaving it there, and you can move things around it. To unlock, you'll just select the icon again, or we can also use this feature so we can rename when you rename an element over in the canvas, that is just for your organization purposes. We can also duplicate anything. And then you can also delete and then lock again by doing it this way. So what will happen here if you're planning to update images, so that will be on the About page, Info page, Portfolio. The galleries are all set up for you to come in here and edit as well. Contact page, links page, 404, any of the blog templates. We will have a separate video going through that, but if you're on a roll with updating images when you select your blog page, these are the 2 images that you can update fully on your own, or if you add more images to this canvas, these can be updated. All of these ones are set up through WordPress. So these images right here are just placeholders. You could swap these for your own images, but just know that these are just placeholders that work with WordPress when you start blogging. The category page is also, these are all placeholders. Again, we'll be going through that in a separate video. And same thing for the single post page. On the single post page, the photo that you can update is this one if you plan on keeping this canvas. Again, we will go over these blog pages in a separate video. And then the blog 404, this image you can also swap as well. Next, we are going to go over how to add video. In Showit, there's a couple different ways you can add videos, so we're going to go through those options together. So one of the first options we're going to go over is adding in a GIF. So these sometimes I will make via Canva. So for example, if you're on a shoot and you take any behind the scenes content and you want to add that to your site, you could upload that video to Canva, create a custom design, add that in, and save it as a GIF. The only thing you will have to go back and forth with the file size. If the file is larger, either A, it'll be too big to upload to your media library, or if it's too big, sometimes it takes longer to load on your page. So you might have to play around with the file size, or you can use other resources like Giphy to make them. Once you create yours, you'll add it to your media library. So if you drag and drop yours in and it is too large, you will get a little sign that says it's too big. Now we can then select ours and add to page. And then you have the same features, so you can kind of move this, you can resize this, or even if you want an image to be a GIF, you could select an image that's already there, double click, and select the GIF. This is again where you're going to have to check quality and then go to preview and just see like load time and stuff like that. But it is cool because it's that easy to add it in. The next option is canvas backgrounds. So for example, if we are in the header canvas and say we want this first one to be a video, we could actually hide the images. And when you click this negative space here, you'll notice canvas is pulled up and canvas type. So that will just be normal. We're going to go to canvas background. Right here where it says color from media type, this is where we can use image or video. So this is another way the image can be a background. For this example, we're going to do video. Choose a video. So when we go to selected, I don't have any videos in this folder. So I'm going to upload a video. Same thing will happen if the video is too large, it will let you know. So there are free video like file size reducers available, or obviously if you work with video, you will know. I'm going to grab a video real quick. All right, I uploaded one in. So we're going to select. We can also have a fallback image just in case, say like this wouldn't load or something. You can have that. Right under here with duration, we're going to loop. The size, we have these options here. Position, you can go through and just see how it adjusts the video. Scroll with page, that I'm just going to keep here. Opacity, so we could change that. And we also have a fill color. So for example, we could have no. Okay, I'm not going to change the opacity, but for example, if you did have other words on top of this, so you wanted it maybe to be easier to read, that's where we could come in with a different color overlay. Then we're going to go to preview. I'm seeing this little white line up here, so I'm going to go to the page background, and I'm going to have this be transparent. That way I'm not getting that white line. Awesome. And then we can click the preview here. Sick. Okay, that looks super cool. So that is the other way we can add video. So I'm going to turn these back on. Now, the other option is we can add a YouTube or Vimeo video. So what I'm going to do is add a blank canvas. So I'm going to click the home kind of bar right here, click the three dots and click add blank canvas. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to grab this canvas, rearrange, and then I can make this canvas bigger. So I'm going to extend this. And in here, when we come to this option, we can click video. Okay, then we're going to go over to the right. And in this panel, the type of video, we can have Vimeo or YouTube. From here, you'll grab the YouTube ID or Vimeo ID. Depending which one you grab, these are the different options you have to kind of edit it. The same thing here. And then you can also adjust this size. Once you put your video ID in here, you'll see your video populate, and then you can kind of adjust it. Now, I would always recommend to come up and preview though, and be sure to double check that you like how it is presenting in that way. That's an option here as well. Next, we're going to go over how to customize text. I know we've been touching on it briefly throughout, so this is just another kind of refresher. So when we click home, we can actually click any text that you want to start editing. So if I select this one, this is a great area to say where you're from, what kind of photography you do, or even what kind of business owner you are. Right in here, we can come in here and say we are from Florida. We can edit that here. We can also, once we have it selected, come up here. We could fully change the color as well. We could come through, change the font itself. We can also change the size, and this could be huge. And we kind of play with that, move it around. Any text you see anywhere also can just be adjusted and put wherever you want it to go. With any of the text you see here, feel free to start with what's already there. You can keep some of the text, you can edit it. It is there to help you start writing, so feel free to use what's already there. From here, we can also adjust this. So if you want it to come all the way over like that, you can. You can fully move this anywhere you want to. That part's really cool. We can edit this fully. Same thing with any of the buttons here. So if you want this to be a different, like instead of view portfolio, it could be like explore. We also have the same options. So if you have the text selected here, and we look over in the portfolio canvas, you'll see it is blue. This is the icon, so we can also hide that if we want. So for example, elements can be visible on just mobile or just on desktop or hidden altogether. We also have that same feature here where we can lock an element and edit around it. We have from the drop down, we could rename it. Again, that would only be for your organization. We can duplicate it. If we duplicate it, it will be duplicated on desktop and mobile. And then it can also be deleted, or we can lock this way as well. We also have this fun section with publications. So in here, I have these all as individual text. This allows you a little bit more creative freedom to come in, and then we can also link directly to it. So if I double click, we could link this way. So say if you have the publication and you have a link to that, we can come in here and click create link, type, so this can be the URL, paste in that URL, and then click open in a new window. That will then give this an underline if you link it this way. Otherwise, you can do the same where we select it here, go to click actions, go to URL, and then paste in that URL. From there, if you want it to be even more obvious that it is clickable, we can go down to hover, and then we could also add in maybe like a different color, change the opacity so it just kind of is a subtle hover here. You really have full creative freedom to make this what you want. If you also have maybe you want to hide some of these, we could select them and hide them just by clicking through. The other cool thing is alignment feature. So I know we talked about that a little bit. But for example here, if we do move this over and you're like, okay, well, how do I align that again? We can select both and then come over here. The alignment feature will pop up and say we want this to align back to the artist. We can click right align. And that goes the same too, even in here, if we want this to be aligned, we can align to any elements that we see. So we could grab this text and the image, click right, and move that over. If we want the button to be over here more, we could even come in, align that way, then select it, and move it over. When it comes to updating your text throughout your site, you will have all of the pages up here. These you can easily come through and edit. When it comes to any of the blog templates, again, we will have that other video going over all of the blog templates, but specifically when you click blog, the text you can edit is this. So we call it the blog, but it could be love stories, it could be client work, it could be the journal, anything you want. So you can double click in here and it can be called journal. And then category, these are all set to be placeholders. So again, we will go over how this page works in the blog templates video. Single post, down here, we actually have a little feature so people can also get to know you and your artwork. So this is this whole canvas. If we click page, the artist, this one can be updated. Picture, text, all of this can be updated. And then same with the blog 404, this text on here can be updated as well as the image. But again, we will go through these pages together in another video. Okay, we'll go back to the home page. Next, we're going to go over canvas backgrounds. So these, when we click page, these are all of our canvases. So for example, even if I just click this kind of negative space, you'll see canvas background come up. This is where we have media type. This can be image or video. And then we have fill, so this can be color or gradient. So right now we have color. This could switch here. And if we do pull up mobile and desktop, you'll notice that both of them change. And you can kind of go through and play with that. If you want these to be separate, we can click here and split. So mobile could be a different color and desktop is a different color. Then if you want them to be, say you really like this lighter pink, we could come back here and merge using desktop. Now there's a couple different features we can do with canvases, which makes customizing super fun too. So within this page, say for example, we want to use this portfolio, but there is a second portfolio down here, and maybe we don't need this one right now, or we don't want to use it. You can click the three dots here, and we can actually hide it so it's not visible on either desktop or mobile. Or if you want it just on desktop, it could be visible on just desktop, or vice versa, it could be visible on just mobile. You have complete creative freedom there to make that decision. There's also another fun thing, we can rearrange canvases as well. So maybe we want the portfolio all together. We could even bring this portfolio, I'm going to just drag it up. Let's see what this looks like. Right, so then now we have the portfolios all going together, which that would be kind of cool. Or we want to end on the artist, we could rearrange that and maybe bring that right below. That looks really cool. So that is a really cool feature. We also can add a blank canvas. So if you're like, oh, I've got more stuff I want to add to this page, we can click home here. These three dots will appear and click add blank canvas. From here, it'll always show up at the bottom, but we can rearrange this and put it anywhere you want. Say in here, we also want to make this bigger. So we can grab these arrows and drag that down and adjust the height of the canvas altogether. We can change the color. And then from here, we can add in new photos. And then play around moving this here. We can add in text. And then you can fully just kind of add all this stuff in, which makes it really cool. Again, if we add anything to desktop, be sure to double check mobile because it'll just stack like this. We also have this feature, Layout Mobile. So this is a newer one. It's a mobile layout assistance. So you can come through and select if you do want assistance with this. And then you'll just click OK. So it'll do it for you. So that would help speed up the process there as well. Also with any of your canvases, if you're noticing like, hey, I really like this, I want to use this on multiple pages, you can convert any canvas to a site canvas, and that way you can use it throughout. It's going to show up down here, and so I will also delete it here. Another thing you can do with canvases specifically is add a canvas from another page on this site. So if we go to page, add from library, we're going to use our current site. So we can use, say on the about page, I want to pull in this portfolio section. I can click add. It will add to the bottom of the page. So from here, you can go through and rearrange it. So maybe we bring this one up and it's under the blog. Now, another thing which is really cool is on the homepage, you can also add canvases from other Show It sites. So for example, if you have another Show It site and you really like a canvas on that site, you can also use that. So I'm going to pull a canvas from our Winston template. And I'm going to grab, I like this open menu, so I'm going to grab this one. Again, it'll be all the way at the bottom, but then I can come through and I can fully customize this one as well. Next, we're going to go over transitions and animations. So what we can do within Show It is you can have elements, so text, photos, even illustrations, kind of appear, or even, if you will, transition onto the page. So if we select an image, or it could be an image, it could be text, whatever it is, we'll select it, and on the right hand side go down to transitions. Here we can select the type, so let's do fade, time 0.5, and let's delay for 1.25. So again, right now it's going to put the same transition on desktop and mobile unless we select these three dots to split that. Then you'll go up here to preview. I'm going to scroll all the way down. I kind of scrolled really fast, but you'll want to come through and double check everything and make sure that the timing is how you would like it. But that would be the same process. So you can go through the text, any of that, and add in transitions. From here, we're going to move on to adding any shapes or icons. So for example, we have read more, but if we wanted this to be maybe more of a classic button, what we can do is come down here at the bottom and click rectangle. Go up to shape style. Here, I'm going to change the color. I'm going to have a border. I want the border size to maybe be 1. And I want this to be behind the read more text. So in the artist canvas, I'm going to grab this simple shape and drag it down. Then if we say we're like, okay, we love that, we'll keep that. You're going to want to select your shape and go to click actions, go to page, and then link to the about page. So whatever the text is linked to, we want the shape to be linked to the same thing, just in case people click it, it's going to the right place. Another cool thing we can do with shapes is we can come down here to effects. Here we can do a drop shadow. We can have the outer, inner, and then from there you'll go through and just choose what you want this part to be. We could also change the opacity for them. We can change the corners. So if we do rounded, this is where you can have the ability to round just one corner. We can have it locked so it rounds all of them the same. We can make this bigger. We can do curves. Like, you can go through and use all of these, which is really fun. If you want more of an arch shape, and you can also do that again with all your images too. You still have this effects feature. We can then also make this a circle, so that's how all of these ones are made, are actually just right here. And changing the size. These can be just decorative or they can be functional. It really is totally up to you. The next one we're going to go on to is the Testimonials canvas. this is on the home page, and you'll notice on a few of the other pages we do have testimonials. So whenever you select a canvas and you see these little tabs in Show It, these are called canvas views. So we will select the text. What you can do is paste in your testimonial. So you'll just select it and add in your testimonial here. And then click in and update client name. And then with testimonials specifically, double check mobile too. So sometimes testimonials can be longer. So you can then make, for example, if they are really long, we can adjust the canvases altogether by pulling that down on mobile, and you can adjust a canvas by pulling it here as well. You could split up the testimonial into 2 parts potentially, or even on mobile, sometimes just changing the text size. Maybe it needs to be a little bit smaller. That's an option. And then you'll notice we have the 3 shapes here. So this is so that each one can be a different color, so that you know when you're on the second one, that one fills in. And then when we come down here, if you want to add in more testimonials, you absolutely can. We'll go to the last one, and you'll click the 3 dots and click duplicate. From here, we're going to have to add in an extra dot, which is easy to do. So I would start with the first one, and I'm going to select it. I'm going to kind of zoom in. I'm going to click duplicate. I'm going to use my arrows on my keyboard, move this up. So here we will want to align those. That needs to go over a little. So if I select all of them, I get the alignment tool. I'm going to do distribute. So if that changes it at all, which is totally fine, let's go over here too. And bring this one over with the arrow tool. And say if we are like, okay, that's awesome, I love what that looks, we will have to go through and adjust to make sure that the size and position is the same. So for example, this one is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to look at the X and Y axis to make sure that that is the same. I'll go to view 2 and adjust that. I'll go to view 3 and adjust that one, and go to view 4 and adjust that. And you'll kind of repeat that process so that they all match this first one. And then we can even grab this on my keyboard. I'm going to click Command C, which is copy. I'll go to view 2 and I'll click Command V, which is paste. So it's pasting it in that same place. And you can do that same process throughout. Even if that's easier as well, you could do that too, where you grab all 4 of these, copy them, and I would delete all of these out first, and then you'll come through and paste them in. If you are like, these testimonials are awesome, I want to use these on every page, you can take this one and create a site canvas, and then we can add it to the other pages as well. Okay, our next one, we are going to go to the services on the info page. So we'll go down to info. Perfect. Pretty much right on the canvas. So packages. So this one again is set up through canvas views. So let's start with just desktop. So when we click package 1, we go to click actions. We are saying the type of link is a canvas link. We want to stay on this canvas, but show them canvas view 2. So that's where we click view 2. This is how you're going to edit this information. So the little dot shows up, includes, so we can change again the font, the size, the color. Come here, add in all of your information for this package, starting at price if that's necessary, and then we have inquire here. And you'll do the same process here. So if you click package 2, that we're going to see Canvas view 3. So view 3, so we'll update that information. And then if we click package 3, that shows us view 4. So we're going to come through and update this information. Again, just be sure to double check mobile with any updates so that way things are not overlapping at all. And then you'll notice all of this information here is within the canvas, but it's just below these canvas views. And then if anybody clicks services, it'll take them back to view 1. You'll notice on mobile too, we have this shape. So this just covers the photo altogether. If you do want the photo to kind of show through, you can select the shape, go to effects, and change the opacity. And you would also have to add this photo into this canvas view as well. So for example, if we do want that to show, I'm going to then select the shape here, and this is where that could show. If you do want that image to be the same size, we can select both and then do the match size here, align and align. Now, if you do want to add another package, you totally can. So we're going to do the same kind of process where we select the last one. We can duplicate it. We're also going to go to package 3 from here. I'm going to hold down the option to duplicate. Option on my keyboard. I'm going to pull this down, double click, type in 4, pull it all the way down on mobile or on desktop, and then everything in this one I'm going to rename this canvas view to 5, click save, and when I click package 4, I'm going to go to click actions, and we want it to show view 5. And then we will move all of this information here. We don't need, grab this, and I'm going to use the arrows here to slide it down. Perfect. So when you get it how you want it, you'll go through and just edit this information the same way. Next, we are going to move on to the FAQ canvas on the info page here. All right, so you'll notice down here we have question 1. So this is in its own canvas. It also does have canvas views. So you will come in here and type your question 1. And then when people click this arrow, if we go to click actions, it is saying show them canvas view 2. So they will see this, which is an arrow to essentially close the canvas. But when we have this first one, we're also saying show us answer 1. So that'll be this canvas. And we're also saying the other actions are hide answer 2, answer 3, answer 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this, how this is applied is throughout all of the questions. And this is so that, for example, if you if you have, say if this answer 2 was open, and I go to click in question 1, it is saying to close any other answers that are open, that are currently open. And that is applied to all of them. So if we look at question number 2, you'll notice that it is hiding any other answer that could be potentially open. So that way, when your ideal clients are on this site, they're only seeing one answer at a time. Then what you'll do is come in here and just add in your answer. So all you have to do is type your answer here. And then you don't have to adjust any of the canvas height or anything. That can be just fine with the answer. Say if you do not have maybe 7, that's totally fine too. You can come in here and just hide them. If you don't need them all, but maybe in the future you're like, maybe I could need them, so you can hide them. Or if you're like, oh, I do need maybe more, like that's totally fine too. So what we're going to do is come in here and we will duplicate question 7 and we'll rename it question 8, and then we'll take answer 7, duplicate, rename to answer 8, and then we're going to follow the same linking. So if I click, where are we? I'm going to click this arrow, click actions, and I want to show canvas view 2 because that's going to show me this canvas view 2. I want to show answer 8, and then I'm going to hide answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to also hide answer 7. So you'll just want to add in that other answer. And then you would just repeat the process. Now again, anytime we ever add anything to desktop, always be sure to double check mobile, so that way the text isn't overlapping for the question or even the answer. All right, next we have all of our fun gallery pages. So on the home page and even on the about page, we really want to showcase your portfolio. So when we go to the home page, we talked about the portfolio canvas here in the beginning of updating these images, and if you do want to update the gallery titles themselves. So if you do update this gallery title here, right now we have it linked to gallery 2. So if you do update the name here to save, and if we call it session 2 and we click save. Now if we go back to the home page and we look at this image and we go to click actions, you'll see that the page is no longer there because we fully changed the page name. So now it is session 2. So if you do make any changes to any of the gallery names here, just be sure to double check that they are still linked. Changing any of the names will do that. So I'm going to go back here, and now we have gallery 2. And then I have everything linked here too. So if we, for example, since we're talking about this one, let's go to gallery 2. We'll go to the page. So these are all of the canvases that make up gallery 2. So what's going to be helpful here is to go through all the updating, how we change photos, text, that is all the same. And then these layouts are all work together too. So if you want to, you can come in here, you can duplicate them, you can rearrange them. it's really here, all these layouts are here to really give you such a creative presentation of your artwork. And then also with your pages, this will be a good area to, when you rename them, to even include any kind of keywords that can be super helpful as well, because that will be the URL. And then in one of our other bonus videos, we will talk about the SEO settings, which is also with our page title, meta description, and the share image. Okay, lastly, we are going to go to the contact page. This page, we'll go into the page, we have the contact form. So this form specifically is built within Showit. You can build as many Showit forms as you want to. They are easy to do. They are built within Canvas views. So we'll go through them. Full name. This is just the text placeholder. Underneath is an empty box. This is where people will come in and actually write their name. Now we have that set up. When we go to text properties, this is how we can create the form, where we have enable input, we have required, in subject, which will be their name. And then we just have the lines underneath, and everything in Canvas View 1 goes in order. So all of the pieces are lined up. We can go to phone. Underneath is where they will add their phone number. We can see in text properties, enable input, and it is required. If you don't want phone number required, you can uncheck it. And then I also have the label here. So after somebody fills out your Showit form, you will get an email notification from Showit with all of their information. So you'll see the label phone number, and right next to that, you will see their phone number. We'll go to email, and it's the same process. So if you're going through any of these and you're like, okay, well, I maybe don't need these two options, you can select them here and then just come over here and hide that information. From there, I would grab all of this. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm just going to slide this up. You'll notice the whole canvas is a little bit longer, so then you can adjust the canvas height. And if we do anything on desktop, you already know the drill. We're going to come over here to mobile and do the same thing. So then I'm going to select this and these options, which I'm going to hold down Shift over here to even select all of these. Then I'm going to hold down Shift again and slide this up. From there, I most likely have to adjust the canvas height. So that is how we can make our form smaller if we need to. So I just went through to undo that. Now, for example, if you're like, okay, well, I actually need to make the whole form bigger. So we're just going to kind of do the reverse of that. So we can extend the canvas altogether. I'm going to select these, pull this down. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to hold down Option on my keyboard, drag this. I'm going to click Align to Canvas. I want it centered. And so now I have a whole new question. New question goes here. And then you could fill in a little answer here. With this question, we'll go to text properties. We want enable input, and if it's required, make sure to select that, and then update the label here as well. Now, if we did that on desktop, we're going to come over here and it'll be the same process. So I'm going to grab all of this info. I know I have to slide that down. And I'm just using the arrows on the keyboard so I can get it off of that other question. Slide all this down. center to canvas, and then you might have to tweak spacing overall, but you'll go through the same thing. Okay, so I just undid that. Now, after people fill out your form, they're going to click submit. So what happens is when people click submit, if we go to click actions, we're going to see the type of link is canvas. We want to stay on this canvas, but we do want them to go to canvas view 2. And we have this selected because they are submitting a contact form. So then they're going to go to view 2. This is what you'll have to update with your information. So you'll come in here and say like you'll be in touch 24 to 48 hours, and then you can sign your name or delete your name if you don't want a name on here. Perfect. That is how you would edit the Show It contact form. Now, if you already have a form via Honeybook or Dubsado, I will show you how you can add in that. All right, so within this canvas, we are going to come to the bottom here and click Embed Code. From here, I'm going to pull this iframe out of the canvas view. We currently use Dubsado, so I went to our contact form. I'm grabbing the embed code. I have it copied. I'm going to come back to Show It, double click, and paste in that code. So now you can see our form coming in here. I'm going to duplicate this canvas. And I'm just going to hide it right now. So now on our new one, I'm going to delete the canvas views so that way I can fully see this form. I'm going to center. So the form kind of comes in like this. I'm going to go to preview. So then you'll see a lot of negative space here. And I kind of want to move this down. So I'm going to pull this down. Still going to center. Let's change the canvas view, the canvas height. And let's double check mobile because we always want to make sure people can get in touch with us on desktop or mobile. And then we will preview both, and we will most likely be updating that as well. And so you'll kind of go through this process of previewing just to make sure that people can see your full contact form and they can get to this send button. And you'll just go back and forth to adjust until you have it just how you like it. I'm going to delete out this extra one. That is how you can either edit the Show It contact form or add in your own. Again, down here at the bottom, we have Show It help docs available and the Show It chat support. Both are super helpful. The chat support is so kind. They're so nice and easy to talk to. Again, your Show It site is auto-saving, but to see any of the edits live, you will always have to click publish. And of course, if you ever are having any other questions, you can always reach out to us as well. Be sure to email us at hello@seventhmade.com, and we would be happy to help. And I will see you on the next one.